Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia and this is the Frontline Changes Report. A bit late today because I was busy. Oh yeah, I haven't changed the title. Give me a second. There is quite a number of frontline changes over the past 24 hours. There's only one that is in favor of the Ukrainians. Everything else, however, is red. There is frontline changes over in the Kursk front at Sheptukovka. The next frontline change is already at Pischane front at Pischane, Mekievka at the Svetove front, Torex in the New York front, Novohorodivka in the Pokrov front, Selidove Mihailivka, as well as Krasnohorivka in the Donetsk front, Boyeda, near Voleda at the Bivdeno Donbaska number 1, Komai and Palivka. So we're going to go into the Kursk front. And the Kursk front, this is actually covered in the situation report yesterday. You may not know it. Ukrainian forces geolocated in the forest. This is the apparently UAV base. So UAV operators was operating from that tree line. It got detected by Russian drones, and then they got heavily airstrike. I believe everyone is dead by now. However, this confirmed Ukrainian presence within the countryside, and so this invalidated Russian claims around this area here. So confirming that the Ukrainians indeed is still in the area. So this is the frontline change over at the Kursk front. So this one I already covered quite comprehensively in the conclusions as well, so no point to rehash it too much. Over the Pichani front, there is also this one also covered in the frontline change in the sitrep, where the Russian forces, based on the geolocation, confirmed to have expanded their control around on the western part of Pischane. But that's all. The next frontline change is over at Mekievka. At Mekievka, Russian forces has been geolocated at this region, confirming Russians' expansion of control around this area here. This corroborates Russian claims. There is still some part of the Ukrainian claims around here that is still not corroborated yet, so we still have to wait. And there is no clarity regarding how much of this western part of from this geolocation is under Russian control. So I do not want to commit to anything to it yet. So let's wait and see how this develops. The next frontline change is over at Torex, over the New York front. Over at the New York front at Torex, the Russian forces, based on Ukrainian mapping, have expanded control in two different regions. Actually, this is actually Pivdeni. This is actually not Torex. This is actually part of Pivdeni. Pivnishny. So, yeah, sorry, my bad. Pivnishny. So the Russian forces actually expanded their control a little bit along these suburbs, and also a little bit at this high-rise zone. So this is based on Ukrainian mapping. So small little changes. So far, looks like the Russians are not ready for a big push into the rest of Torex yet. It looks like the progress is super slow. And the next frontline change, we move all the way to the Pokrov front over at Novohorodivka. So the Russian forces, according to the Ukrainian mapping, have expanded their control because of an attack westward from Novohorodivka. So this is a major push out from the into the western part, and they are now trying to move. So this is the first major progress since the operational pause around this region here in the Pokrov front. So this could be a continuation of the Pokrov offensive. So expanding westward is just to create buffer for Novohorodivka. So no, this is quite expected. And however, Novohorodivka, according to the based on how DPA do our mapping, is still not under full Russian control, because there is still this northern part that is not firmly confirmed to be under Russian control, which is why DPA have not declared Novohorodivka captured. Although the Russian sources seems to declare as so, and I know that some other reporters, especially on the pro-Russian side, say so, but sorry, this is not the DPA's position. South of this position at Mihailivka and Selidove, there is some major frontline changes. So after the initial Ukrainian counteroffensive failed, the Russian forces seems to went into the counteroffensive with multiple geolocations, 3 different geolocations confirming Russians have attacked westward from Mihailivka towards Selidove. So this operation continues, and this also corroborates that the front line actually is not so far, not so deep into Selidovic as per the initial pro-Russian mapping seems to have suggest. So our invalidation is correct, because the geolocations is all around this area here. So the fighting is within this very foresty Dacha region. So the Russians are pushing. It will probably take some time if the Ukrainians are putting up a good fight. So anyway, that's all from the Mikhailivka region. After Mikhailivka, we've pushed south to Krasnohorivka, and the battle of Krasnohorivka has ended. DPA and DPA's position, including also with Ryba, both of us have confirmed that Krasnohorivka is now captured, fully captured by the Russian forces. This because of the final geolocation that confirms the Russians have fully conquered the rest of the southern chopstick. So there's this chopstick over here, this the northern chopstick. So both chopstick is now firmly under Russian control. So the Russian forces finally have fully conquered the Krasnohorivka. There is still a lot of work to do to secure Krasnohorivka, including all this area on the west, in the northwest, as well as in the north and in the northeast. So there's still a lot of work for the Russians to do to fully secure Krasnohorivka, but I don't think it's going to be difficult. It's probably barely an inconvenience, because of the Ukrainians are already in mass withdrawal around this area here. So not a problem, barely an inconvenience. So anyway, that's it from Krasnohorivka. And the next frontline change is over Boyeda. So Russian forces have started an offensive in the Boyeda region. I'm not sure how big is this front line at this moment, but the Russians went on the mechanized rush against the Ukrainian lines, and the results is unclear. We do not know if the Russians are successful or not, but it looks like a very big offensive operation in this area. So let's see how this develop. We will probably know more within the next few days. But it's going to go towards nowhere. Generally speaking, it's all countryside around here. So let's see how this goes. And the next frontline change after Boyeda is over at this Voleda Vodiane region. So Russian forces geolocated in a new position within the Pivdeno-Donbaska 1 coal mine, confirming Russian expansion of control around this coal mine or the industrial complex. And this also means that the Russians have fully captured the coal mine complex around this area here. So it's unclear if they have taken the high ground, but if they do take the high ground, then this will give the Russians some good vision around the region. So let's continue to watch and wait for more information coming out from this region. And one last frontline change is over at Palivka. This I've already mentioned in the SIP and the conclusions, where the Russians have attacked across the Kalashkar River. And this is pretty significant because this might mean that the Russians may start to push northward, cutting off the retreat route for Voleda. So, but we shall see how this develops. The Russians have not been geolocated or reported to have captured the entire of the industrial area around here. So that's it. So anyway, this is the frontline changes report for the day of 929 for the 9th of September. Press the like button, subscribe, check out the conclusions, and I'll see you guys in the next update.